Hello and welcome to See If It Sticks. This is the podcast where we solve your first world problems, and the intro this week is going to be particularly short because I am sick of extended advertisements because it is Christmas advert season and they're all about 5 minutes long. I've spent more than a day and a half watching Christmas adverts this week because Maddie likes to watch them all. I'm Dan.
I'm Dom.
And we have a special guest in this week.
We do.
I'm Ed.
Ed is here. Ross is... where's Ross this week?
He's still banished to the Orient on a quest to find the ancient arts of solutioning from monks in a temple somewhere and a back street in Hong Kong. I don't know.
I thought he was only going to be gone for 2 weeks, but evidently he didn't think that he was going to encounter the problem they don't speak much.
Yes.
He's
and
had
all
to
he ever
learn...
does is speak. He's had to learn Mandarin.
The most complex of all languages.
It is supposed to be ridiculously hard, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've heard.
We did a small course on it at my school when I was doing my A-levels in it was non-compulsory, and I went to 2 of the terms worth of lessons and gave up after the second
It's
one.
all about inflection.
I love that you did 2 terms worth of lessons and you can count from 1 to 10. That's how complex the language is.
Yeah, but it was ridiculous.
Can you count?
No, I can't remember.
I can count to 10 in Cantonese.
Go on, I just want to hear it now.
Ya yi yom se luk chuk put gao sup.
Is that because of martial arts or something? Yeah.
That is actually due to Kung Fu, yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did taekwondo for a bit when I was a kid.
That's Korean.
And I used to know the up to 20 and a spattering of words, but I cannot remember a single word.
I struggle enough with the English language. I tried to learn Italian on an app.
Duolingo?
Yeah, Duolingo, yeah.
Duolingo's a pretty good app.
It is really good. And I got quite far, but it was a fad thing and I gave up. But my nan's Italian and she's 90 this year. And ever since I was a child, I just kind of really wanted to, at some point, have a conversation with her in her native tongue to kind of like make her proud.
Yeah.
And she's 90 now. And so I really ought to get on that soon.
Clocks are ticking.
Clock's ticking, poor Nan.
My granddad's, it's part Italian as well. I've always had that dream. I've come close a couple of times, but I never really learnt all that much.
I think it's one of the cooler languages to be able to say you speak.
I think so.
Yeah.
Maddie my girlfriend has been
Also
learning
one of the most
it.
useless.
Also,
One of the most useless, I'd say.
probably.
And just like a percentage of people to speak to. Like Spanish and Chinese are the big ones, aren't they?
Yeah, Arabic's probably getting there.
Yeah.
But I think...
They're going to put you in harm's way, though. Probably.
But I think with Italian, it's quite similar to lots of other different languages, isn't it? Like it's
They're
kind
all
of,
Latinate, yeah.
I feel like it. Like from what I've seen, Maddie's been learning it on the same app, and she's been sort of quite good with it. And up until recently, was doing it every day, doing what she needed to do. It gives you like a percentage, doesn't it, of how fluent you are.
Yeah, it's really gamified, so you get points and you have to, and there's all different like little sort of games within it. So it's like matching word games.
Yeah,
it's even got voice recognition, so you speak out loud to it.
Yeah, occasionally I hear her talking in the bedroom, and I sort of like poke my head in while I'm brushing my teeth or something. Do you say something?
Yes,
I said a babbity boo
She's mastered the language well.
My tip for Duolingo, my learning accelerated greatly when I took it seriously enough to get a pen and paper out at the same time as using the app.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So instead of when you were playing a game where you had to just speak along, you wrote and speak along, wrote and spoke.
That's a good idea.
So I struggle with the English language, as you heard there. So
you can even learn Greek on that app now, Duolingo.
You can learn loads of different languages.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's quite good. It's free as well, isn't it?
In-app purchases for extra languages.
That's right. So they're only like a couple of quid, really, for a language course. That's not bad, is it? What was it, that Rosetta Stone? That was always marketed really heavily a few years ago, but they don't market it so much anymore.
Yeah, that was the in one.
That was
CDs,
crazy,
wasn't it? So you got a CD in a book, I think.
CD-ROM.
Yeah, it was a CD-ROM.
Yeah.
It was, and like now though, with that Rosetta Stone, because it still exists, but it's all online. And you have like Skype lessons with a native speaker.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
which I imagine are pretty useful.
I suppose they could pair you up with a native speaker who's trying to learn your language. That would be quite a cool way to do it.
Interestingly, I did actually about a year ago sign up to a website that paid you to have 15-minute Skype sessions with someone who's trying to learn the language. And the reason I signed up for it was because I thought that, if I got home in the afternoon, you can book yourself like an hour. If I didn't have anything to do, you can book yourself an hour where you're online, and then someone can kind of just find you on one of their pages, and it will say you're online. And the entire idea was that they would go on there and you would just have a conversation with them about whatever you want to talk about,
as natural as possible,
and they will try to converse with you, and you're not there to correct them. Like, this is why I thought it was such a great idea, because
you're not doing any teaching.
I'm not saying no. This is how you pronounce this or whatever. You literally just go like, so today I went to work, I drove my car home, and I fancied spaghetti for dinner, blah 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 blah, and then they just do that for 15 minutes. The actual application process for it was much more in depth than the actual work of it.
Really?
You had to do it like a certain amount of times at certain points of the day while one of their kind of I guess like a mod or something kind of observed you doing it, so you'd have like a 3-way Skype conversation.
Make sure you didn't have your wang out every time someone.
And also, I guess to make sure that you can actually speak the language and you're not just talking shit at them. I've signed up for I can speak Italian, and I just on there going, I can't speak Italian. I'm really sorry,
mia.
but you have no idea what I'm saying anyway. So you're just going to think you're really shit at Italian.
Italiano.
Yeah.
Italy, spaghetti, pasta.
You say that. I recently read Richard Feynman's kind of like, it's like a semi-autobiography kind of thing.
Right.
It's like a collection of his anecdotes. I don't know if you know Richard Feynman, very famous physicist. Like
Big on science communication.
Worked on the Manhattan Project and stuff like that. And he's very entertaining. He's quite sort of like endearing to like read his little anecdotes. And he grew up in an Italian neighborhood. And so like he kind of mentions that a lot of the people driving around in this like Italian neighborhood were kind of quite erratic drivers, and they would always be, sounding their horns at each other and shouting out the windows and that. And he had
long-held tradition.
Yeah. Basically, he had kind of like an Italian friend, and he got him to teach him a couple of sentences that he didn't understand what they meant, but, next time, Mrs. whoever from up the street nearly ran him down and she stuck her fist out the window, he would shout something back and she looked appalled, and he was like, what did you teach me? And it was some really awful thing. But then what he found is he experimented with this idea of just saying something confidently that sounded vaguely Italian. Because like, as with, many languages in the world, there are certain dialects of it. He found that, there was while he was at university or whatever, there was a groundskeeper or something that was Italian. And so he would say something in Italian to Richard Feynman every morning, and Richard Feynman would respond. And this guy would go on for ages thinking, oh, he's probably just from some different part of the country. It's like a dialect that I don't understand. And it finally culminates in this. He went home. He had a little sister who was going to this like high school some sort of like take your dad dance. His dad was away as a uniform salesman, so he went with her. And
random. Sorry, the uniform salesman bit threw me. Yeah.
Well, you're talking like 30s,
right?
Kind of time, 30s, 40s, I guess. It must be.
To be a salesman before the internet.
Yeah, right. And
I'd be cleaning up.
So he went along, and like all of the dads like had to awkwardly perform some sort of thing. So, some of them went up and performed, a speech or a song or something like that. And he went up and recited something which he just made up in completely gobbledygook, like Italian, like faux Italian.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, like all the girls were laughing while he was up there just reciting this passage that he'd made up on the spot. And then all the dads came over at the end of the night, and they were like, we've been having this conversation, like, and we just can't decide, like, it was beautiful, but was it Italian or Latin? And he was like, you've got to ask the girls because only they seem to understand.
Nice.
So I think it's one of those languages, isn't it, that you could I love this idea that you could just say something that sounds remotely Italian and people just kind of go, he must be speaking Italian.
I think it's like that with a lot of languages, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure like I say, there's some Italian guys doing a podcast, and when they do us, like we're going, blah, 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 and then they're just going, you know, that's about us or something. Oh, excellent. That's good.
So we have got some tasty treats in the office.
We do have some tasty treats in the office.
Tasty
Bought
treats.
by a very special guest.
Why is it that we have tasty treats in the office?
So I bought some brownies for you to try because I own a brownie delivery company.
Which is just about one of the single greatest ideas I think I've ever heard of in my life. We're living the dream
and like
tonight.
Chris Moyles with our podcast, we're stealing it.
yeah.
No.
So I thought I'd deliver, and I bought you a pack of 3 Bakemates triple chocolate brownies.
This is the business Bakemates.
This is it.
It's a good name.
That is a great name.
Do you mind if I dip my hand in?
Go, Dom. Go.
Munchies delivered. So do you like our packaging?
Yes, lovely.
Gone for the kind of the retro.
Yeah.
You know,
good, simple, decent logo.
Farmhouse style.
Love it.
Packaging.
Oh my! Oh, little Bakemates logo on here.
We logoed everything.
Lovely.
You
got to stamp that shit around everywhere.
I'm
getting a see if it sticks tattoo.
We've put stamps. It's literally a stamp, and I've stamped thousands of times with that stamp now. I ought to get it printed, but weighty, isn't it? Weighty.
Yes,
I'm fine. I've had enough.
Nice, dense brownie.
What you do passing it over there, Dom?
It's weighty.
This is a live tasting.
Wow, that is
yeah.
cocoa-y.
The first time we've had a live tasting since the biscuit incident.
The tea incident.
Well, I hope this doesn't become referred to as the brownie incident.
Oh.
That is fucking glorious.
Oh my god.
And so, yeah, I mean, gone straight in there, guys.
Oh my god.
I fucking love brownies as well.
Yeah, brownies is one of my
They're best, aren't
favourite.
Brownies is...
Apparently, the invention of brownie came about when somebody was making chocolate cake and messed up the dough recipe.
Okay.
And used too much of certain ingredients, and it became basically like an uncooked cake.
I wonder how many things like that in the world have kind of gone unnoticed, because some of the greatest things in the world, brownies being number one, are complete accidents.
Made by mistake. Yeah.
You know, you often hear that in food, don't you? Someone makes a mistake and it ends up being whatever, caramel.
Well, surely everything in food essentially must have come from being a mistake. Because if you think how it all first started, that someone must have accidentally heated the dead meat up.
Yeah.
And they cooked meat, and then they thought that was fine, and then they must have accidentally left a bit of that leaf on it when they were eating it. Unless I don't know whether they were ever intelligent enough to decide to start putting that leaf with that meat, or whether it was just accidental.
That's one of the big things. That's one of those proper shower thoughts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which came first, the rosemary or the potato?
That's exactly how I was thinking of wording it as well.
They were just having...
These are amazing, man.
These are really good brownies, I must say.
With their Yorkshire puddings for years. And then eventually the potatoes came. So, yeah. Well, I mean, the silence speaks volumes. And
you just keep talking.
Yeah.
We're going to fight to the death over the third one.
Yeah. Well, there was a thing on TV the other day about when you give people 3 things, but there's only 2 of them. The person who is the designated leader will always have the third one. I should probably have talked about this afterwards because I've kind of given it away now. But as you're hosting, it would have probably been you, Dan.
Well,
there can only be one.
The brownie is still in my possession.
Yeah, you had to keep it over there. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we should split it.
We should split it. Yeah. We do like a Lady and the Tramp. I'll put half in my mouth, you put half in yours, and we can just sort of like rub chocolate all over each other.
That's my evening sorted. Oh wow, these are very good. If you live in the if you live do you want to?
Well, if you live in the Canterbury area, we deliver to you within an hour, and launching very soon by UK postal delivery anywhere within the UK mainland.
That is legitimately one of the best brownies I've ever had.
Very much so.
I have to say that.
Good. I will pass your congratulations on to our baker.
Please do. And I have to say that it comes number 2 because my grandma's brownies will always be number 1.
Yeah, you can't beat a family brownie is my motto.
No, do you know what it is? They are basically that brownie, which is my favorite kind of brownie. It's chewy, it's soft, it's delicious. Salted caramel.
We've got a salted caramel one coming up.
Holy shit! Fuck off, Grandma.
We'll be doing that one real soon. I've had it and it's incredible. So I'll deliver that. Have me back and I'll bring salted caramel.
100%. I'm kind of in.
I think he's my favourite guest ever.
I think so too. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of in that mind space at the moment where I'm totally going with a fad, and I will have anything on a menu that says salted on it.
We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about food fads outside earlier when you were late.
Sorry.
So we were talking about the savoury food fads having gone from what was it? It was hoisin duck, sweet chili chicken, pulled pork. They're the kind of the savoury ones. But yeah, salted caramel is very in
it is
the world.
really in at the moment. Yeah.
We do a pot of salted caramel sauce as an extra. It's like your dip.
Holy shit!
And it far outsells the rich chocolate sauce pot.
Do you know what I miss sauce wise for puddings?
Go on.
Hot fudge. You don't get enough hot fudge sauce anymore.
That was like a Pizza Hut thing, wasn't it? Like in those kind of days, you went to any restaurant like Pizza Hut or whatever sort of mid-range restaurant, and it was like
the little pot, and you could pour it on top yourself.
Yeah, definitely. In like a sundae, the hot and cold. The sort of juxtaposition of hot and cold.
Yeah,
really, really like I like a hot donut. Jammy donut, like a shit jam donut from Sainsbury's, heated up in the microwave, dollop a bunch of ice cream.
Warmed up donut, that's new.
Like a warm jammy, like something my nan always used to do for us when we were kids.
I'm gonna have to try a hot donut.
I mean that was one of my guilty pleasures when I worked as a baker in Sainsbury's. You quite quickly get sick of confectionery products. You're sick of the sight of them. You're sick of eating them because, like, initially it's all good because at the end of the day, when you're reducing everything down to 10p, you kind of think, I'm going to take £5 worth of confectionery and eat all of it. And then after the first couple of months, you cannot stand the sight of another cupcake or another, even at the time, brownies and things like that. It was just like jam donuts by far the worst because the sugar just is everywhere in the bakery. The jam is everywhere in the bakery. They're a nightmare. There's hot oil. They're a fucking pain in the arse. However, that being said, the first time you are actually responsible for frying them, filling them, and sugaring them, the smell of it
overpowering.
Is just, it's undeniably good, and you have to have one, buy one.
Buy one.
You have to go and buy one at 4:00 in the morning at that very moment.
Yeah.
You have to eat one.
Yeah.
That was one of my real guilty pleasures.
So through the process of launching this company and deciding our product range, I was trying a lot. So I was, we have 2 bakers now, but I met with a baker's dozen before sort of whittling it down to our 2 bake mates bakers, and whose identities are top secret. And
the secret.
It's my grandma.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna start going around there. She's like paying me in 50s instead of the usual $5. I'm like, where are you getting all this extra money, Grandma?
I'll never tell.
I see half of a bakemate's stamp on her hand.
I had to quickly realise I had to take a bit more of like a wine tasting approach because I'd meet someone and they're like, here's my cheesecake, and they give me an entire slice of cheese, and it would have been the 4th piece of cheesecake I'd eaten that day. And so I had to start meeting them and saying, look, don't be offended, but I'm just going to have a mouthful of this cheesecake to try it because otherwise I'm going to get diabetes really quickly. The funniest moment was when I had a really dry throat during one of the sort of tasting sessions, and I just really started. So you've got this sort of nervous baker in front of you, and you're trialing their product, and I just started going, and I just started basically choking because I had a dry throat and no other reason. And the look of horror on their face as they thought they'd just poisoned me or choked me to death on their cheesecake was entertaining.
My God, that's insane.
But yeah.
What a way to go, though. If that
You deliver
was the case.
cheesecake as well?
Yeah, the cheesecakes.
Silky smooth cheesecake in my belly.
They're good, the cheesecake.
Out of interest, what kind of cheesecake? Are we talking like a baked cheesecake?
So we've done a crunchy cheesecake. So it's it's not baked. It's a cool cheesecake.
Cheesecake, yeah.
And it's we've done a crunchy cheesecake. We've done a Biscoff cheesecake. That's been really popular.
Oh shit! Is the Biscoff in the base?
But, the Biscoff's all over it. So there's the Biscoff in the base, the buttery biscuit base. And you've got a Biscoff cheesecake creation on top, and a Lotus Biscoff biscuit sat on top. It's been very popular, that.
Fucking hell.
Biscoffs are very in at the moment.
Biscoffs are in.
Yeah.
I know, we've got a pot of it always in my house for dipping biscuits in.
Really?
We dip biscuit. We like when we have like our sort of evening tea and I'll get our digestive out because it stops me buying chocolate digestives.
Right. Okay.
I don't know, it's probably worse for me. Getting a knife and spreading like a big sort of centimetre thick layer of Biscoff on top of the digestive.
Biscoff is biscuit spread, so you're spreading biscuit spread onto a biscuit to avoid eating a biscuit.
Yeah, I know. It's so good. It's biscuitception. But yeah, that Biscoff is a big thing in my house.
And Oreo, of course, is always
Oreo's
popular.
always
The
popular.
Oreo cheesecake's gone down well as well. But,
That was the thing a little while ago as well, wasn't it? Sort of Oreo being in everything,
like
ice
milkshakes.
cream, milkshakes.
Oh, do you still get like loads of Oreos?
It's still looking at doing it. But it's interesting. I mean, so I've had to become a bit of a sort of chocolate industry expert because a lot of our sort of products in the Canterbury delivery business are these kind of featuring another product type things. So it's crunchy or Oreo or Twix or Maltesers or Munchies. So I'm having to kind of pay close attention to which chocolates are on the up and which are on the down. I don't know. It seems like Cadbury's aren't as popular as they used to be. I'm a Cadbury's fan myself.
So there's no like fruit and nut cheesecake you do?
No fruit and nut. It's the more kind of special, like the kind of the retro chocolates in, like Munchies is quite a retro chocolate.
Do you know what? Munchies were the tits when I was a kid.
I still, if I buy chocolate, if I don't buy like a Lion bar,
fucking love a Lion bar.
I buy Munchies.
Toffee crisp. I've recently gotten a bit of a hankering for again.
Really, I had I went through the full like satiation of toffee crisp because that used to be my lunchbox every day. My sandwich, packet of crisps, and a toffee crisp, and like one of those little snack-sized toffee crisps.
Yeah.
Every day for years, I had that, and then one day I just couldn't look at toffee crisp again.
Yeah, the smell of chocolate is one of those smells that is only appealing when you're hungry.
Yeah,
I've come to realize that. I mean, most food smells can be slightly overpowering when you're not hungry, and make you feel a bit quick. But the chocolates, it's punchy.
Just the sweetness of it.
Yeah, you taste the sweetness of it in the air.
Oh, glorious!
Dom is so erect right now.
I am rigid as fuck.
I think that's what I can smell in the air.
Yeah. No, I mean, as Dan knows, I have fucking insatiable sweet tooth. My biggest problem in life is sugar. If I didn't have such a sweet tooth, I'd be a svelte 13, 14 stone, but because I like the sweetness.
Have you ever come across those tablets you can take? They're made of a berry. I think I can't remember the name of the berry, but there's these tablets you can buy on the internet, and they blue.
Great start to any conversation.
Dom doesn't need it. All you need to do is wave this brownie in front of him, and he's already up, baby.
So I forget what they're called, but there's something berry tablets,
right.
and you take one, and for the next half an hour, everything you eat will taste sweet. So people have these parties.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
So people have these parties where they a load of people come around, and you tell people when they come over to bring something that tastes that they don't like, or something that would taste. So people bring lemons or Guinness or a bottle of vinegar, and it's crazy. So this berry, it's a natural ingredient, and it binds to the some receptors on your tongue, some taste buds. It affects the way that they interact with the chemicals in food and make sour things taste sweet and sweet things taste even sweeter. So if you drink Guinness, it tastes like honey. If you can down vinegar once you've had one, and it works for about 20 minutes. And people have these parties where everyone tries all this different stuff that they'd never normally eat after taking one of these tablets.
This is going to be the next thing, isn't it? You're going to go to a trendy bar and you will order some disgusting concoction of a drink that on its own tastes like crap, but you have this berry and then you drink it and it will completely change the taste of it to something pleasurable.
Apparently it really makes things taste good. So sucking on a lemon becomes like a sweet Haribo lemon type thing.
Shit.
So you can just eat, you can, and vinegar becomes, like a sugary, intense hit. It's interesting.
I am
how much these tablets
fully intrigued
that you can get from the internet.
But that'll be the next thing. Maybe we should be ahead of the curve and open this bar.
Remember, we were ahead of the curve with Netflix and Grill.
We were ahead of the curve with Netflix and Grill.
Some events company stole it.
Don't look at me. The problem is with this podcast, Dom, is that we have so many punny names for the episodes that they're too good for me not to
use at work.
Pitch at work, yeah. You know what I mean? It takes half of the effort out of my job when I have to sit here and think of puns all day.
Still waiting for that royalty check.
Yeah. I'll give you a percentage of what we made.
Hold 2 pennies.
Problem this week.
Yes.
Well, if you have any problems that you would like to be solved,
let me think on that. None are springing to mind, which makes, I'm not saying I don't have problems in life. Like, my life is not perfect. And I just flow through it and without ever having any dilemmas.
What the listeners at the moment know of you, Ed, is that you're on See If It Sticks, and 2, you are a professional cake taster and
dispenser.
Yeah, chief taster is the name on my business card.
I'm not entirely sure you're convincing anyone listening that you don't live a life with no problems. It sounds like what most people strive to do.
Yeah. No, I think you might be right.
Well, if you haven't got one, I have got one. Because I have spent the last 4 to 5 days trying to decorate my room.
Right.
And I kind of just want a better solution to it. Let me go through my process at the moment. So far, it has been tidy everything up in the room, obviously. Get everything out of the room, which is a real issue when you've got chests of drawers and, my TV plus DVD player, surround sound, Blu-ray player, now TV box, VCR, what else? Soundbar.
VCR?
Yeah, I've got a VCR, mate.
Blu-ray
player, 3D Blu-ray player. Computer, mixer for my sound system, which has cables trailing all the way around the room.
And
an amp. What else? What else is in my room, Dom?
You got that fucking massive glass-fronted DVD fucking
massive
case.
DVD Blu-ray case, massive CD cabinet.
Yeah.
Plus all your clothes, everything you need.
The room sounds more like one of those, when you go to like Curry's or something and they have a room, like a room at the back of the store for demoing all the equipment. And it's just kind of like a room with a sofa just plonked in the middle of it and 5 TVs on the wall and loads. That's what your bedroom sounds like.
It is roughly along those lines, except there's more dust, which I discovered over the last couple of days. Because there is so much in there, when you move everything out, because, we dust on top of it all and around it, I'm never going to move my my chest of drawers that has my television on it out because it has so much stuff on it. It took about an hour just to sort of wind up all of the cabling and take everything apart in my room. So it had thick dust on it. So then you had to get everything out, which is obviously a pain in the ass because you have to lift everything and get it out. Then go around dusting, hoovering floors. Then what I was doing, the reason I was late is because I was cleaning the walls with sugar soap to clean all the fucking, because obviously you get like greasy handprints on walls and things like that. Sorry?
Hello.
Yes. And if you don't get rid of that, then when you go to paint over it, it's never going to stick to the wall.
The handprints will come through.
So I've just been washing my entire room down with sugar soap, and now I'm going to have to do the black wall is going to need a base coat because I'm going from a dark colour to a light colour.
What are you going to?
I think it's like a orange kind of colour.
Oh, okay.
Black to orange.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, Maddie is my interior designer.
What are you going to use as base coat?
It's got some white emulsion at home. Just cover it up with white. Go over it with orange.
I would do a grey and then put the orange on top of that.
Well, it's sort of quite.
I don't understand how base coats work because surely you could just use orange to cover up and then another layer of orange.
Well, the thing is, if you want,
orange would come out darker.
Yeah.
Overall.
So if like the orange is quite a dark orange anyway, but it would be darker if I went over black with orange because it's like a matte black on my wall as well, isn't it? It's not like a glossy black.
Right.
So
it's not a fancy black. It's an abyssal black.
Right.
A what?
Abyssal.
Oh my god! I learn a new word every week from you. Abyssal.
Abyssal.
What is that?
Abyss-like. Abyssal.
I thought you were
staring into the abyss.
I thought you were saying
abyssal.
I thought you were saying abyssal, like like
abyssal.
abyssal. I thought it was a shade of black. I thought there was like some black.
Umbral. It's umbral in its blackness.
Okay.
Is it like in that Roger Rabbit? What's that? The one,
Who Framed Roger?
and you get the black circles that you can throw on the wall and
Yes,
what they get from
exactly like that. It's that black. Yeah,
Nice.
Black hole black.
Black hole black.
Cartoon.
Event Horizon Black.
Cartoon rabbit hole black. that was the shade that I bought. Yeah. So then you got to do that, and then I've got to go around and repaint the whole room.
So you want this sequence shortened?
I don't mind moving the stuff out, but then I want a way that I don't have to go around hoovering, and I don't have to go around dusting, and I don't want to have to paint and scrub the walls.
You need an explosion.
See, I knew this was going to be the first place that we were going to go, that Mr. Bean episode.
Yeah.
Puts a firework in the paint can.
What you need is to cover everything in newspaper and then lose the door handle and have a party.
And create an entirely slapstick situation.
Yeah. And somebody needs to come back to collect their hat.
Oh my God.
It's all coming back to me.
I still lose my shit watching that every time I see it. That entire episode is just
really
so funny.
4 apples before finding
the
wrapped
doorknob.
apples and you say, Mr. Bean.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's great.
Explosion. I was thinking
Now,
it's sort of...
The problem with an explosion, I'm willing to go with an explosion, but to save kind of...
It'd be the most metal way to do it.
To save the big pain in the arse, I've left the bed in there. That's the only thing that's being left in there. So what I'm doing is I'm covering it with dust sheets and then moving it as I paint 2 walls. I'm moving it to the opposite corner of the room, waiting for, and then when that's dried, moving it over and doing.
I think that's a
the
pretty
other ones.
sort of standard decorating technique. You could do that. Could you not do that with everything? Just move everything over to one side and then everything over to the other.
Unfortunately, my room has got quite tight
Dimensions.
Yeah, it's quite a tight room. So essentially, once everything is in my room, there is maybe enough space to kind of stand next to the bed, and then a small amount of space in front of the bed going to my wardrobe. There's not a lot of room to move around in there.
It's not exactly cat swinging space.
No. So that's the thing. So if I set an explosion off, then I'm going to get the silhouette of a bed.
That's true.
Unless you put the bed then where the silhouette is.
It's true, and then no one will ever know.
That's actually a good idea. I like that.
Put the bed where you want the bed to be anyway.
Yeah.
My idea is similar to explosion, but it's more controlled.
Okay.
And it's robotic. So you need to take the bed out for this.
I've got to get the bed out.
You got to get the bed out. Okay, so it's an extra bit of work.
So but empty room now.
We're in an empty room. The only thing that's on the floor is carpet. It is a big, like, thick trunk with a ball on top. You stick it in the middle of the room, and various armatures come out of it. So along the sort of bottom radius, you have 2 Hoover arms that sort of go out in a slowly expanding circle, hoovering the room. In the middle, you have 4 arms that do the sugar soaping. So they go up like that and sugar soap the entire room.
You're going to have to explain a bit more because we are on an audio.
Yeah, so
that's true. I'm making lots of hand movements.
Yeah. So the arms are moving around in a sort of circular motion outwards from your body.
Outwards, yeah. So they're going outwards from the main body of the unit.
Just to get some idea, if it was going to make a noise, what noise would it make while it was doing it? Okay, I like this noise.
So we're doing sort of 2020 robotic noises here, like 2020, 2025 and
yeah.
They've gone lower by this point. They're
That's
not as high pitched.
It's not quite R2D2, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
And these arms that are doing the sugar soap sort of slowly climb to the top of the sphere and then retract back in, and then out come the spindly arms on the end with the rollers on, and they do the rollers on each wall. And then come out it's got like 6 or 7 like little edging arms that do all the gloss and like the edging in.
I'm assuming there's lasers here.
These
are guided.
It's all laser guided.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You've listened to the podcast before, me.
I have, yeah.
It's all laser guided. So this is what it does before it goes. It laser maps the room.
Yeah.
So like like Caddyshack, where have you ever watched Caddyshack?
No.
So Caddyshack is a bit like Animal House meets Ghostbusters. And Rodney Dangerfield plays a golfer who is about a golf club in the true 80s style. There's tits, there's dick, there's all sorts of stuff. And Rodney Dangerfield, the old comedian from the US, is like this really rich fella who's sort of coming from new money. There's quite a lot of old snooty fellas there, and he gets like all the tech, and he's got this golf bag that like maps the green.
Nice.
With like lasers. And he goes before he does his putt. But yeah, so it'll map the whole room in its...
So I'm imagining it's a bit like, the thing that's on the top of a Google car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's on like a big central stalk with a massive ball at the top that holds all the little ligatures and armatures. But the armatures are all like fold out. Some of them are quite spindly. The Hoover ones are relatively thick. But they're all retractable, all component based. And obviously what you do is you just pour your paint in. Pull the different paints in, and you have to set the program to what you want the walls to eventually be, and it builds up the paint over time. Leave it for like 3 or 4 hours, come back in, Bob's your uncle.
And this is a stunning invention. I love the idea of this.
Me too.
Sometimes I come out with a good one.
Because I've used something called a paint pod before, which I think is about as advanced that the decorating world has got.
That's the Dulux paint. I've seen that before. I've seen that. Is that good?
It's all right.
What is that?
So you have to... once you've bought your paint pod, you're then sort of cornered into buying the Dulux paint pod insert. So you can't choose any old paint. But essentially, it's a roller connected to a box that you've put your paint in, and it feeds the paint up a pipe to your roller. So you don't have to. So you get an even roll of paint each time, and you don't have to continually dip your paint in a rolling pot. It just kind of feeds it to the machine.
Looks a bit like a wet vac.
Yes, yeah, in reverse.
How successful was it?
I think it's still selling. I don't know. I haven't decorated in a while, so I don't know. But I think it was probably more successful than the sort of paint fads of the 90s. Like, do you remember ragging? Did you ever watch Changing Rooms? And they had and it was really popular to do things like textured painting techniques.
Yeah.
So you used to paint a wall and then roll a plastic bag over it to get or stippling.
Like Artex.
Yeah.
That was how they did
like
Artex, wasn't it? Like, because I remember we had this Artex ceiling in my front room of my parents' house, in their bedroom. Like, I was actually around my nan's house on Saturday, and I haven't been around there in a little while. And for some reason, I found that I looked up to the ceiling, and I realised that she still has an Artex ceiling in her front room. You don't. It was kind of like a welcome blast from the past. I kind of thought, Oh, that happened.
I still remember the first time I was high enough in height to a ceiling to feel the Artex and be really disappointed that it wasn't hard. You could like press your nails into it.
Yeah, it was all like sort of bendy with like rubber.
Yeah, and you know, it's that was a disappointing moment for me, discovering that.
I thought maybe this way I can play with my moon buggy on the ceiling. Never came around. It was too sticky. Artex in one of my houses was sticky forever.
Really?
Very strange.
It was kind
it
of
might have been the amount
like
of fags my
foamy
mum and
sort of
dad
thing,
was
wasn't it?
smoking. It was just like
The
nicotine.
See, that's what you need some sugar soap for. Nicotine staining.
We haven't smoked in the house for
Like
about
that.
20 years, but yeah,
I think your parents were still smoking in the house when I started coming around.
that's true. I was exaggerating.
Oh,
I stopped smoking. We stopped smoking in the house when I turned about 17, 18.
yeah. Because I remember I used to love going around your house because we could all smoke in the house.
Yeah, but looking back on it now, right? Looking back on smoking in, like, have you tried smoking indoors? Like, I know we both sort of vape now, but like last time you were when you were smoking before, have you tried like smoking inside recently? Since like the smoking ban came in and stuff, it is the most oppressive, nasty feeling.
You feel like you're breaking the rules.
It feels
No,
weird.
it just feels crap. Like you're like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
it's so smoky.
I often think back because I mean, when I was at sixth form, it was just about before the smoking ban came in, and I remember going to Greasy Spoon cafes with my mates during our lunch breaks.
Yeah.
And smoking in the in the cafe, and these were small cafes.
Yeah.
And I just think back to that and think how horrible that was.
Yeah.
You know,
Awful.
that someone would be on the table next to us still eating their meal while
Absolutely.
four of us would light up a cigarette in
there
this
was-
small cafe.
We used to go in groups as well. There was a couple of Greasy Spoons in
When
Canterbury.
we used to go to Nason's, you could smoke in there, couldn't you?
Yeah.
With Stevie's sister.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Smoking
There's
with Stevie's sister.
yeah.
Well, she worked in the thing, and we used to go down there. Oh
Crazy.
my god.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then they, I mean, slightly before the whole ban happened, there was smoking areas, and like that whole kind of like incomprehension of the idea that smoke knew where the smoking area stopped.
Yeah.
So you'd have 5 tables in the corner of the restaurant you're allowed to smoke on, and somebody would choose to sit in the non-smoking area, but be put next to one of those tables.
Yeah.
Technically, they were in the non-smoking area, but
There's
clearly-
It's crazy, really.
There's that scene in Bruges, isn't there?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
they're in that. Have you seen?
Yes.
You seen that? Where they're in that restaurant, and it's like the American guy on the table next to him, like starts making a fuss because they're smoking, and they're like, "We're in the smoking area," and then because they've just had a conversation, haven't they, about like what constitutes. He talks earlier on about how he would punch a woman if they were coming at him with like a deadly weapon, and then
Yes.
what constitutes a deadly weapon? You know, it would be if anything more than getting a bottle like waved at you, and then he punches the bloke, the American guy, and you just see this bottle swing at him. He just punches that woman in the head. I fucking love that film
It's
so
a great
much.
film.
It's a good film.
Really good.
It's one of those ones that doesn't get trotted out often enough, I feel.
I completely agree.
It's a Christmas film for me. I don't know why, but for me, that's that. I watched
Because
it.
it's the magic of Bruges. It looks so
Yeah.
picturesque.
And are they not filming a Christmas scene in it or something? I seem to remember.
I think they are. Yeah.
With the
Well, just
dwarf.
because it always looks Christmassy in Bruges. I think.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place.
It is a beautiful place.
Mm.
You ever been?
No, but I've seen it plenty of times.
I went there with the school. We went to Ypres,
Ah,
which is like sort of like a little further up the road because they've still got all trenches there,
yeah.
and you can sort of like knock about in them. Quite amazing.
Knockabout.
Although we stopped in Bruges for like maybe an hour. Like it was late afternoon, so we didn't get a chance to go up to the cathedral or anything like that. But yeah, it's really nice. That like town square bit that you see in all of the pictures and all of the films. Lovely.
Lovely, lovely. So
I
yeah,
didn't see any midgets though.
No.
I wish.
Who
Or
knows?
people falling from towers and
Yeah.
So that's my best solution for this.
Your best solution is a ball on a stick.
Painting automaton.
A painting automaton.
Automata. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, so the aim of the game here is to get the dust out of the room, right?
Dust out,
Paint in.
Dust out, walls clean, paint on.
So I mean, you could seal the room completely and create a vacuum. So you could suck everything out of the room. And I mean everything as in. So if you created a vacuum strong enough, I mean the dust would be easy. The dust would fly towards the vacuum, fine, no problem. And then increase the level of that vacuum considerably. There would have to surely come a point where the paint and the dirt would have to start coming off the walls as well. I don't know.
Well, that level of vacuum will probably start sucking the house into the vacuum.
Yeah, I can imagine, because it's plaster. We're talking plasterboard walls here as well, so we're going to get some bowing going on. Yeah. But I do like the idea of sucking all of the dust out, because also that would probably fluff the carpets up as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
perhaps. Yeah,
maybe a short-lived like black hole or vacuum.
I love how
I turned everything up to 11. Sorry.
I like how on this podcast we go from sort of a vacuum.
Like I'm sticking a Dyson under the door.
Yeah, this is technology that kind of exists. You can recreate it on like a small scale.
You could recreate my painting automaton.
Yeah,
you could do it
with a lot of money. Eventually, you could come up with something. But the black hole,
mind you, saying that, you could get those robots that clean windows. Can't you? Why couldn't you?
Squeegee bot.
Yeah, why couldn't you feasibly do that with paint? If
it's like a painting Roomba.
Attach it to a Dulux
paint pod.
See, I'm wondering, it's sort of just how sort of cleansed you want the environment. I mean, you could maybe like an acid of some kind would remove the dirt and the dust.
Spray it, spray it around the room.
Kill it with fire.
A fire. Maybe just a fire.
Maybe that's what we need. Like maybe we need to start treating walls in some sort of material that isn't reactive to acids or abrasives or anything like that. And then every time you want a new wall, you can kind of just coat it in something and peel the entire paint job off.
Okay.
Surely the future of decorating is screens and projectors. I mean, you just project a color. I mean, don't worry about painting it. Just
like Alien.
Yeah, just project.
Oh, it's Aliens. Yeah, Aliens. Have you ever seen it?
No.
So in Aliens, Sigourney Weaver's character Ripley, she's been on a ship for like 50 years in like stasis, and they take her to like the company headquarters, and you first see her and she's sitting in a field like in like some woods and stuff, and she's like having a nice time on a bench. And then you hear the guy come in the room, and it's like it all like sort of goes and sort of cuts out. But yeah,
nice.
That's sort of what I was envisioning. So you could have a different vista every day.
Do we need Sigourney for this?
We do need Sigourney Weaver.
I wouldn't mind.
Are you the keymaster? Just for that one.
Gatekeeper. I would
Zool, yeah.
Zool. I would actually quite like that, because then that would mean that, like a lot of the trouble that I'm having at the moment is that I've asked Maddie, because I have no idea about sort of colours and design and things like that. So I've asked her specifically to kind of just take control of the design element of it. I don't mind doing the painting.
Well, you chose black originally, so I think that's why.
It was black and white. Oh. It was.
Point still stands.
I think you.
Dan was going for his jazz era.
I think you could call it a feature wall.
Yeah. Because speakeasy.
Yeah. It was just.
Funny enough, a podcast last week was about speakeasy.
It was just one black wall behind my TV and stuff, so it would kind of like set it off. I thought.
Yeah. That crinkling noise.
I'm halving it. Yeah.
The crinkling noise is the brownie has been pilfered from Dan's possession. My leader,
I know, right?
My leader theory has fallen.
It's like Golden Axe on the Mega Drive. Like a little elf has come in to steal all of my apples. I'm leaving mine till the end. I'm gonna savour the moment.
Sorry, I was just through looking at it, and I was just like, that was really fucking good.
Was that Italian that you were just speaking?
Yes, it was. Sorry, it was calling to me.
That's okay, Dom. That's okay. Yeah.
Now I literally have no
self-control.
Self-control, that's the one.
Annoyingly, now that I could smell it, I also want my half, but I am going to wait. Yeah, Maddie's taken control of the colours. So there's obviously a specific, as you know, most of the time when people redecorate, there's like a specific kind of image that they have in mind. So, you know, we went around the DIY shops yesterday to try and pick out some colours, and you never get quite, you know, exactly what you want. So then I had to spend all this money on testing pots, which I'll have to try out at some point this week. And they're never going to look the same, you know, once you've got a couple of coats on it, you know, you have to take that into consideration, because some of them you only need one coat. Some of them will completely change colour after a second coat. So, like, I think the idea of a projection or something, like, because there's
because you've got the whole weird philosophical questions around colour anyway. I mean, do you see the same colour as Maddie?
Oh no.
Anyway, and how can you ever prove that you do? I mean, I just throw that in there, but it could be your way of arguing when you get it wrong, that it's because you don't actually see the same colour as each other.
There is that.
We need some weed and more of your brownies.
We're
going into this situation.
Hilariously, the first time someone explained that like philosophical conundrum to me, they were really exceptionally high at the time. And instead of choosing like in its most basic form, like, you know, and it's such a like an elegant question, like sort of like
musing
question.
On life.
Yeah. You know, what's to say that you see blue exactly the same as me? We would both call it blue because, you know, you would know it as blue and I know it as blue, but you might see it completely different from me. They explained it to me using a carton of chips. And they were like, you see chips one way, but what's to say that I don't see them completely differently? I might see chips like what you see as onion rings. But we would both call them chips.
Now that is a stone man right there.
Yeah. I really remember it really vividly because we had a conversation. I went, so, you know, basically what I'm saying to you, what you're trying to say to me is that, you know, I might see red in a completely different way as you see red. And they were like, well, yeah, that's how it was explained to me. But I thought it would be more interesting with chips.
Yeah. I'd love to hear him explaining other philosophical questions. You know, like how would he even attempt with Schrodinger's cat? You know, like what if, you know, it was a dog? And
it's like having a thing of chips and not knowing if it's got brown sauce or red sauce on it.
That's pretty good.
I suppose you can apply the same argument to taste. Taste is much more difficult though to apply that argument to.
Subjective.
Yeah.
Because you have to objectively know the cat is in the box, and also for it to work, you can either objectively see the cat or objectively not see the cat. With taste, it's all down to opinion. With the cat, you can either the cat's in there or the cat isn't, and that's objective because it's only it's a placement in space and time.
But with taste, it either tastes good or it does not taste good, and that is purely subjective.
Yeah.
Or looks good or does not look good in the case of your black and white wall.
I mean, that's it would be glorious if you could change the color or whatever of a wall, because you wouldn't mind paying. Like maybe you could like flash up a shade of orange for half an hour or half a day or whatever.
In-wall purchases.
Yeah, live with.
Well, I think that. So I have recently invested in a Philips Hue lighting system.
Oh, what is that?
So it's basically lights that are controlled via my phone.
Okay.
So all the light bulbs all around my flat are Wi-Fi controlled.
Glorious.
And can produce I think it's something 256 million colours, as in, you know, shades of colours.
Wow.
Ultimate and RGB, are they all LED?
Yeah, they're all LED, and so I can make any light bulb produce any colour. And the one thing which I've realised is that this, you know, if I, you know, ever decorate now, I will be painting the walls white, because then I can wash the walls with light of my choice. So if you want an orange wall, essentially, if you've got a white wall and you put an orange light on it, it becomes an orange wall. So yeah, I mean, I think perhaps the future is white walls that have LED lighting pointed at them.
I think that I kind of like that as a solution, because I would really enjoy being able to like see a color and sort of load it up on your phone and project it on the wall. And, you know, even if it's a temporary thing, if you have to particularly buy that shade or, you know, whatever, but you can at least kind of live with it and see
You're
it.
stuck with the mood of the color that you choose to paint your wall, aren't you? So
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm wanting to concentrate on work, I have a scene. You set these scenes, and it's like a vibrant blue color, and essentially what that then does is make the flat a vibrant blue color. And when I want to relax, you can take it down to reds and oranges, and so you painting your walls, you're very much boxing your mood. I mean, they do say that colors affect your mood greatly, don't they?
Yeah.
Like reds make you feel warm and relaxed, and greens make you feel energized. So when you choose to paint your room one of these colors, you're essentially making that room your energy room, or your relaxed room.
Mm-hmm.
But your use of the room might change.
That's very true. Can you get custom profiles for these lights?
You can do absolutely anything you like.
I have a keyboard that does a very similar thing.
Yeah.
Like full RGB, like 320 colors or something like
that. A keyboard, like a computer keyboard.
Yeah.
It's really funny because I was about to say, well, what I was about to say was that
shop and shelves.
like when if you're sort of like getting a little bit romantic, getting a little bit intimate, and you can put the mood on
Dim
for
lights.
some nice deep reds and stuff. But then now I'm actually just thinking that you could do the same thing with your keyboard when you masturbate.
It's true. But on there you can get custom profiles.
Yeah.
So watch as I ignore. And I've got one where it's like the Matrix. So it's all the green light code going down.
Nice.
It's quite cool. I'm just wondering if you can do a similar thing in your house.
You can create things like that. I can make all the lights strobe.
Fuck it all.
I can make it look like
a freak out room.
Yeah, you can set it disco mode, party mode. You can create all your own.
That's cool, man.
One of the cooler things is this kind of the connected home world, which is what I'm aiming at. I eventually want to be one of these people. So the lights can be talked through my Apple Watch, so I can talk to the watch and tell it to turn lights on and off and stuff like that. Lights automatically turn off when I leave and automatically turn on when I arrive.
You live on the Enterprise.
It feels like that sometimes. The only thing.
How do they do that? What is it based on on
my phone's GPS? So yeah, or Wi-Fi connection.
It's no good when you're doing that thing when you're going out for the night and you want to leave the landing light on there, is it?
No, it's not. It's also no good when you sometimes have to step in and operate a delivery service in your home city. And are frequently driving past your own home, knowing that the lights are going on and off every time I drive past.
That's fucking.
It's quite entertaining to watch from the outside. But yeah, so I mean, another thing is your ability to control the lights from anywhere you like. So I can turn the lights to any color I want in my flat right now. And Sam, my partner, is currently at home and has already discovered how annoying that can be.
Oh my god!
But then you can prep for it if you've got the sexy hue. Then what we can do is just as I'm about to leave work and dim all the lights down to red, and Maddie knows to prep.
Knows to say her prayers and start term solution. But if you could link it with the Sonos as well and just put on like your sex mix.
Yeah.
You can.
Oh my!
This is what you can do. You can link it with other connected home things. So you can connect it so that if you have electric blinds, you set what's called a scene through Apple Home, and your scene might be this piece of music, the blinds open, the lights on this setting, and the heating on this. And
you could choreograph your life.
Yeah, it's quite something.
Wow.
See, I
kind of want it all now.
The benefit of this is that it kind of lends itself to this See If It Sticks connected house that we've been developing over the past year, where everything in it. The last remaining problem then is the actual cleaning of the walls. But I'm thinking that if you're never going to repaint the walls, that what you should have in the walls maybe is some sort of mesh or something which could superheat.
Yes, I've used that many times before to clean things.
Yeah, like
superheating mesh.
Just very quickly blast it, and it would
sterilize.
Yeah, it would just clean it.
And if your walls are made of mesh, you could change the shape of them and this, that.
Oh, you could have all sorts of freaky shit going on, like that baby at the end. Talking about the Matrix again, that baby face at the end of the Matrix. It's all made out of machines. It's like,
yes,
talking to Neo as he's about to do his Jesus bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. it could be like FaceTime, but like supervillain FaceTime.
Yes.
So you could just
did you watch Eurovision this year, by any chance?
I didn't.
I can't remember which entry it was, but one of the entrants danced in front of it was actually like a giant rubber screen,
right?
And they projected onto this rubber screen, and they pushed blocks out of it. So imagine a guy standing, and the backdrop of the stage is projections, and you think it's projections, and it looks like projections, and black blocks are being projected, and they're doing all the usual kind of exciting thing you do in projections, where as if you get the timing right, as he moves, the blocks move out of his way and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he steps onto one of these projected blocks because the something from behind the rubber has pushed forwards and provided him with a step to step on. So all of a sudden, he started walking up these blocks.
That's
that were
impressive.
projected. That looked pretty cool.
It would be very cool.
So that opens up, because that would
have staircases that fold away.
That would kind of like solve the dust problem as well, couldn't it? Because you could, a bit like a back massager, your wall could just run down, and like if you had like a gap at the bottom of your skirting, which could act as a vacuum, you could have like
a vacuum tube all the way through the house that sucks up all the dust. And
because so it could literally sweep down the wall, knock all the dust off down to the bottom, and then clear it away itself.
Well, I mean, you can have some houses that are being built now with central vacuums. Have you heard of a central vacuum? So the idea is that you have in the basement of your house a vacuum machine, and the pipes of that are led to all of the rooms, and then you have like essentially a socket. So you have all your vacuum cleaner is a tube, and you plug it into the wall. And the vacuum operates in the basement, sucking everything down to the basement. So you don't have a vacuum cleaner. You just have holes in the wall that, a bit like, those sucky tubey things you send cash up.
Yeah.
A bit like that.
Or like my hairdresser, actually, he has like a little thing, so he brushes the hair over towards it, and it goes, whoop, and it sucks all the hair up. Yeah, cool. And puts it into the bin. Yeah, so I imagine, is that the kind of like thing? Like it would just kind of, I suppose, you just brush it to the skirting.
I suppose you could essentially, then run that around the room permanently.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to create a strong enough extraction system in your house, dust should never really have a chance to settle. I mean,
that's a good point. Yeah.
Dust is a bane of my life in my flat. So I have I live basically on a very main road on the one of the main ring roads in Canterbury, and the pollution turns into dust, which comes through my windows, and dust is everywhere in my flat all the time. And I'm a collector of items, as most magicians are, So magic being a hobby of mine, I have tables that have just got lots of random objects on, perfect for collecting dust in.
I'm very similar, but it's nerdy stuff.
Yeah, models are a pain to get dust off.
Mine's a collection of both of these things.
Yeah, the super dust. That must be really hard. But yeah, if someone could solve dust, that would. I mean, you're asking if from my. I mean, I think my problem would be just dust.
Yeah.
How to solve dust? I mean, you could double this up as a double problem solved with one singular solution. I don't know.
So you got a central stalk, right, with a ball on it.
Yeah.
Maybe a vacuum is the best way to go for dust.
Like a vacuum in the skirting.
Because it wouldn't matter where you put it, would it? Because like your actual...
a very slight extractor all the time.
So it never has a chance to settle.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So just like a thin line through the skirting of your house, every room.
Yeah.
And when the dust is sort of going, it just sort of gets pulled on the very slight air current and gets pulled in.
I suppose you might lose your heat. You're essentially then sucking out your warm air as well, aren't you?
That's true.
It's true, but perhaps it'll filter the dust, get rid of the dust, and then put the heat back into the house via some sort of air conditioning system. Recirculating the air, but put like dust filters in the it somehow extracts the dust from the air. That can be done, right? HEPA filter.
Dyson are probably going to be on this, aren't they?
Fuck you.
I bet they listen to our show.
James Dyson. You see, they got a hairdryer now.
A hairdryer?
Yeah, it's like that. You know that Airblade fan that's not very good.
Oh, the bladeless ones.
Yeah, the bladeless ones. It's like that. It's like just a circle on a stick.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am a Dyson fan, to be honest. I do like Dyson.
I cannot comprehend because those fans, the bladeless fans, are so expensive.
Like 300 quid, aren't they, at least?
Yeah. I bought...
They're crap as well.
Are they?
Yeah,
I bought, as you very well know, because I go on about it all the time, I picked up secondhand a monster air conditioner last year and stuck that in my room for the summer because my room gets exceptionally hot.
Hence why there's only just standing room next to the bed. He has all this shit.
Yeah. But that is the best thing I ever bought. 80 quid. I don't know why anyone would buy a bladeless fan when they could go for the same price, just go and buy an air conditioner.
I think for me, the Dyson product, a lot of it's down to the design.
The aesthetic.
Form factor is very nice.
They do look good, don't they?
Yeah.
And I do enjoy using the hand dryers, the blade hand dryers.
They are good.
You put your hands in and then draw them out. And I always remember being told a story of someone once who came out from the toilet absolutely covered in urine and said the urinal just absolutely sprayed my urine completely.
No way.
And he pissed into a Dyson Airblade. Can you imagine the mess?
Yeah. Fuck me. That would have been serious shit there.
But you can see it's an easy mistake to make if you're a bit gone.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be.
You'd have to be quite tall, wouldn't you? Because I can barely use a Dyson Airblade to dry my hands. I have to stand on tiptoes to get my hands in there. Go up from underneath.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, I like that idea of the sort of general constant dust extraction unit.
We'll probably have to revisit dust at some point, but I'm pretty satisfied with my painting solution.
Which is the lights.
Yeah, we're going to use some lights.
There are 4 lights.
Yeah, I would like more of a projection system so it looked like it was a colour.
So like Pantone wall.
You know what I mean? Like, so, because, when you
E-ink, maybe.
E-ink, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Have they done colour E-ink yet? Is that a thing?
No, but I'm sure it'll get there eventually.
Well, because, I mean, the thing is, if you are running a current through it anyway, with this mesh that you can form, you might as well, it might as well have some sort of.
I mean, if you're running a current through it as well, I mean, I'm not sure quite how the technology works, but they are developing transmission current, aren't they? As in wireless current.
Yeah.
So that, you can,
proposed by Nikola Tesla originally.
Yeah. So, I mean, I saw a demonstration of it. It was a TED talk and he was giving a demonstration of this wireless current and it was incredible. He had a microwave sat on a podium in the middle of the stage and a kind of a big box on the other side.
And Igor brought a phone on.
Yeah. You wanted this, master. And the microwave operated without being plugged in and it was having the power beamed to it. And the most impressive thing was, and obviously this kind of has to be a part of this invention.
He got in the middle of the...
Yeah, he could then walk through... Because you kind of assume that if you're beaming power from A to B, you can't step in the middle.
Yeah.
But actually, he could, and he walked through it, and
that is magic. That's crazy.
That is magic.
That's mind-boggling. But I read an article today, I think it was IFL Science, like about these cybernetic eyes that are so close. It's like an overlay for a regular eye. Obviously, it'll help people who are blind and things like that. But also, it's got sort of uses for people with relatively healthy eyes as well. And it's like an overlay for your eyes, where it will enable us to see more of the electromagnetic spectrum. And if obviously this becomes normal, like we'll see the Wi-Fi and the all this noise we create on the visual noise we create on the electromagnetic spectrum.
Biohacking. There are some pioneers in biohacking at the moment who kind of do DIY biohacks. These, so you can do it at home. So essentially,
subdermal RF
things like that. Yeah. So there's this guy who has
yeah.
implanted a magnet into the tip of his finger, for example, and at the moment that's a pretty useless thing, but it's just kind of proves a point that actually we can hack our bodies, and what that enables him to do is find out where things are. He can walk around a room and just detect, where large pieces of metal are and stuff like that. He's walking down the road sometimes, and he
Magneto.
says, "Yeah, essentially,
Done. He's not going to be throwing knives at Nazis anytime soon, but
They'll stick to his hand, won't they?
Could be, it goes to throw it and it just stays there. God fucking damn it.
I mean, everything would. It'd be. I never thought of that. Having a magnet in your finger must be a nightmare when you're trying to put a paper
picking
clip.
up your keys.
Putting down your keys, nightmare. Picking up things isn't the problem.
It's these guys that have the RFID chips in their like the crook of their thumb and their forefinger. That I like because they create like entire security systems in their house that are based around just this chip in their hand. They just put their hand on the door and it opens, sort of thing.
I don't even want to go that far. Just put my Oyster card on in my hand.
I heard someone did.
Oh, they do that. They do that. Travel cards.
Someone's inserted their Oyster RFID chip. Well, it can be any RFID chip as long as it's programmed as your Oyster card. Yeah. And then you can look quite magic as you approach the tube station barriers and wave your hand over them and they open in front of you. That must feel like magic.
Well, you've got an Apple Watch, you can do that.
Yeah, true, but I'm wearing something on my wrist. It must feel like real magic when you've got nothing in your hand. And
you're just like,
open! You summon the gate to open.
Awesome.
I wonder how long that takes to get old. Because I
would never get old.
I've ceased marveling at like the Apple Pay and stuff like
that. It's much easier just to get out your card.
Oh no, I find it easy to get my phone out.
Really?
Much easier to get my phone out. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all right on the watch, but you can. A guy inserted RFID chip into the tip of a magic wand, and so as he got on the bus, he could just sort of do a spell at the Oyster reader and sort of bussy us on us and zap the reader with his magic wand. And
only going to be a matter of time before some mental starts getting on London buses with a 12-inch dildo and starts paying for their journeys by slapping it on the thing.
Reader,
or a large shotgun with an RFID chip.
Yeah,
the RFID chip stopped working ages ago, but he's still getting let on it.
We should think of a name for this podcast.
We should think of a name for this podcast. I didn't call it anything. I want to call it something. I wanted to name it, but I couldn't come up with a name.
Humanoid name.
Well, no, just a name.
Terry.
Yeah, Terry the painting robot.
Sounds like a painter.
Terry the painting robot.
Terry's painting and decorating. You call it up like Terry sounds like an honest name. Yeah. Like, and he turns up. Hello,
I have come to paint your walls. Please allow me 4 to 5 hours of uninterrupted use of your room. You may hear whirring noises. That is only my armature extending and reigniting.
Start having
Terry droid,
anti-automaton rallies.
Yeah, who's going to be a Cylon? Terry, a painter and decorator, is a Cylon.
I mean, like, so you go for. There's like a common thread between all of the topics, perhaps, has been
painting and decorating. But how can we make that funny?
Dust.
Dust. Anybody know dust?
The common thread throughout all the topics today has been fads.
Fads, food fads, and
I was, you're struggling when you go for just like the triple name thing. It's like, like a firm.
It's always my go-to.
Like a firm of solicitors that just ends up going with like Johnson and Johnson.
yeah.
Food fads and Dan's pad.
That's got a nice rhyme in it.
Yeah, it's got a good rhyme.
Rhymes are good, aren't they?
I'm really surprised that you just pitched an idea that has my name in it, given that you've blocked every single one with my name in it.
C3 Paintio.
Die robot.
But the die spelt DYE.
That's right.
Yeah, that's very
I
good.
quite like that.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I think we're going to have to go with that.
I think we'll go with that. Die robot. That's really good. Well done.
I'm just trying to think of a Will Smith pun as well.
Let's go with Die Robot.
Die Robot it is.
I always find it really pleasant when we have a guest on and they name a podcast.
Didn't Dean name it last week?
Yes. Yeah.
It's an honour. True honour.
Thank you.
So that has been See If It Sticks for this week. You can head to stickitpod.com where there's links to all of our social media and you can get in contact with us. You can also get every single episode that we have ever made.
Truly?
What?
Trudy? I thought there was some missing.
Truly what?
That we can get all of our episodes.
No, I think they're all on the website.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
Secret archive somewhere.
Yeah, it should all be on the
buried
website.
in R&D.
Like the Vatican secret library.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet they've got copies of our podcast there.
Yes.
So get in contact, send us your first world problems, and inevitably when we've made several mistakes in our facts throughout the episode, you can correct us or let us know anything really. Thank you very much to Ed for coming in this week.
Yes, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
If you would like to spend
Pimp.
just a moment pimping out all of your stuff shamelessly now.
Well, you can visit bakemates.co.uk, and launching soon is the UK delivery. It'd be marvellous if you get a moment to pop on and do that.
See if it sticks approved brownies.
With honestly one of the finest brownies I've ever tasted.
And that is
life.
me saying it genuinely. I would say if it were crap. And they were,
I would as well.
Yeah, and they're genuinely some
We're
of the best
such
brownies.
cunts,
But they're genuinely some of the best brownies I've ever tasted.
Yeah.
And
I can see you keep looking at my other
Yeah,
half.
I know, it's
That is why I wanted to leave it there, just to tease you.
it's terrible.
You say he was looking at your other half.
Yeah. I'd prefer you would look at my other half and you look at the other half of my brownie.
Bakemates.co.uk.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much, Ed. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
For this week, I have been Dan.
I've been dumb.
I'm Ed.
Yeah, that's 20 quid, mate.